Good evening. I would like to present the capabilities of Waveguard Technologies company, current and next generation capabilities in tracking and geolocating and providing metadata of all mobile subscribers. We will exemplify our set of capabilities and capacity in the specific use case, which is the topic of our evening's discussion. And this is augmenting or enhancing and improving the effectiveness of border control efforts. Our main, if not sole expertise, uniqueness, and value proposition is turning cellular data into valuable intelligence and information. We have a very wide set of product portfolio and use cases. And as I've said this evening, we will exemplify our capabilities when it comes to border control. I'm glad and proud to say that currently, as we speak, we monitor over 100 million subscribers all across the globe. I would like to start by presenting the challenges which borders nowadays propose vis-a-vis the governmental agencies which are responsible for their protection. First and foremost, we have in many areas of the world very long borders. As an inherent result of this, they suffer from a limited coverage because of their dimensions. And what is even more important, when you look upon the pace of adjustments of the opponent or the adversary vis-a-vis the government agency which is responsible for the border protection, and this might not be very pleasant to resonate, but this is the true reality. The opponents or the adversaries have a more expedited pace of adjustments. Vis-a-vis that, or as a very effective solution, we suggest the tracer solution. This is a centralized, nationwide, real-time solution that tracks and monitors all mobile subscribers concurrently. I emphasize the phrase concurrently and nationwide, and I would say that the combination of these two attributes makes it a strategic system. We do this upon basing ourselves on two basic attributes. The first is that each and every mobile device is first and foremost a radio transmitter and receiver. So we take advantage of this fact to monitor and track the radio qualities of the mobile device itself. And secondly, as I've stated, our main expertise is our profound knowledge in cellular networks engineering. The key values is that it monitors on a real-time basis I re-emphasize all mobile subscribers. If the data is recorded, and there's no reason to not record the data, of course it can be used to have reconstructions, recaps, investigations, and forensics. The system is totally covered and non-intrusive. That means that the mobile subscriber itself is not aware of the fact that he is being monitored by the system. And even more important than that, the mobile operator, which should be incorporated into the solution but is not the end customer. The end customer, by definition, is the governmental agency, is aware that some system is installed, but he doesn't know, or he has to know on a need-to-know basis that something is installed, but he doesn't know the nature or the qualifications or the attributes or the specs of the system. The system is very, very accurate. Of course, the specific accuracy depends upon the deployment density of the network. I would say as a ballpark number that in urban areas we reach an accuracy of a 2-digit number in meters, and in open areas it might be a low 3-digit number. Of course, we provide an upper layer of big data analytics. That means if someone approaches to a certain area, if two people meet, we are very flexible in that regard. Of course, we have our own developed rule engine, but we are very flexible in developing all kinds of other rules which are more relevant to the specific customer. And even more important, last but not least, because of the fact I've stated that we take advantage of the mobile device being first and foremost a radio transmitter and receiver, we are totally agnostic to the type of device. We are totally agnostic to the type of the operation system and the technology generation being used by the mobile operator itself. The use case of border control, once the system is deployed, and assuming that there is cellular coverage across the border line, then the border itself and its vicinity from both of its sides would be geofenced, would be determined in the system as an area of special interest, and then we can detect, as I've said, on a real-time basis, attempts of smuggling, immigrants, and terrorist activity, and this is done constantly and concurrently. When integrated, when this system is integrated with other surveillance means being usually used, like for instance, patrol forces, drones, camera, radars, it significantly enhances the effectiveness of the other means, because there is a limit to how many radars and how many cameras you can deploy if you have a 2,000-kilometer border. But if you deploy the system and after a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, you have a tendency of learning the patterns of those who are trying to perpetrate any kind of illicit activity, then you can adopt the deployment of the other means, by thus enhancing their effectiveness. This can also be done on maritime border, assuming that there is coverage on the coastal line itself, and some sensors, some cellular sensors or mobile cells can be installed upon ships. It can detect all illicit traffic, usually within seas. I mean, we've seen some terror attacks which were initiated and perpetrated through coastal lines. For instance, Mumbai in India a couple of years ago. But man trafficking and smuggling usually use the maritime media. This can also be used to protect all kinds of strategic facilities which are located within the seas itself. This relates usually to energy infrastructures. We cross now from the tracer system to the Artemis system. The main significant difference between these two systems is that in the first one, the tracer, we had to incorporate the mobile operator. He had to be a partner. That means that there is the company, ourselves, Waveguard, there is the end customer, and the mobile operator has to be incorporated, as I've said, in a very, very covered and non-intrusive, but still he has to be incorporated into the solution itself. In the Artemis system, Waveguard provide a totally independent layer or array of sensors or mobile cells, and this makes it a truly independent system. So that means that in some parts of the world in which compliance by the mobile operators is difficult to achieve, then the Artemis solution for limited or for relatively limited areas, this is a very, very effective tool. The use cases I would go to the classical ones. For instance, an airport or a harbor in which immigration checkpoints are being deployed. Naturally, of course, the digital ID of whoever approaches the immigration checkpoint is being identified, and alerts combining the digital ID with some other data reservoirs at the back office. After combining all those pieces of information, an alert can be sent. Of course, we have a centralized system to control all terminals, all checkpoints, and as I've said earlier, this is truly non-dependent of the cooperation of the mobile operator itself. The Artemis itself can be deployed to certain areas of the border in which there is no limit, or there is no coverage, or there is a limited coverage, and it provides the same I would say, operational benefits like the tracer, but without the incorporation of the mobile operator. And this goes as well to the maritime border. I would like to say that the price of the hardware, that means the purchase, deployment, and maintenance of the mobile cells themselves compared to the life cycle of the project is very cheap. So it makes it very beneficial to have, I would say, supplementary deployments of Artemis, where you have a non-complete deployment of the mobile operators themselves. I would like to go now into a basic scenario in which both systems are combined. Say, for example, that a target or a potential target approaches the checkpoint. He's being identified because there are some alerts and some preliminary intel material concerning this person. For an operational reason, there is a decision being made on the spot not to arrest him and to let him in the country. He is then being transferred, so to speak, from the Artemis system to the tracer system. He does what he ever wishes to do within the country border itself. And on a real-time basis, we can provide his geolocation, his link analysis, whoever he is meeting, etc., for us, the persons who have an operational background. I understand, or I fully know that you fully understand what is the importance. And once there is a decision which is operationally justified to apprehend him, then we can, of course, apprehend the suspect, and we can apprehend all of his accomplices or potential accomplices within the country. Of course, this goes for the coastline monitoring, as I've stated earlier, and of course the arrest or the apprehension of the suspect is something which will be done by the decision of the law enforcement agency. I would like to thank you for your time allocation, and I hope you will find interest in our capabilities of significantly improving, enhancing, and augmenting border control efforts. Thank you.